If you read the title of this video, then you know that we will have many bizarre cases involving some My Little Pony fans. Like the case of a man that married a Twilight Plushie, and another one that dated Rainbow Dash. So get your gas mask ready because things are about to get stinky. Warning, the following video is not recommended for people under 16 since it contains some adult stuff. Watch on your own risk. Hey beautiful people, I'm Julie, and I think that the least sick case in this list is MandoPony's case. Musician that started his YouTube career inside the My Little Pony community back in 2011, with songs and videos inspired in his own My Little Pony OC, and adding his charisma and presence in social media, it didn't take long for Mando to become popular in the brony community. But this popularity didn't last long, since little by little he began to be forgotten, making so MandoPony migrate to FNAF community, which made him twice as popular in the platform. It was in 2020 when Mando, that was actually called Andrew Stein, was accused of taking to minors, mainly girls, and it wasn't something like fan to YouTube idol, it was intimate stuff. And if there's something that the My Little Pony community doesn't like, is a so the fandom kicked him out. And what did he do? He put up a big screw you in social media and said that he was going to therapy. Kinda cynical. Nowadays, he is just remembered by his great songs he made back then. But ultimately, he is forgotten, but still try to follow a regular music career. Here's the question, does someone has ever had a My Little Pony plushie? Even me loving the series, I cannot stand the terrible design that Hasbro puts into their official design. And for that, I never bought any. And I'm not the only one, since many fans create their own plushies for collecting or selling. That's normal. Normal. The problem is when the Lyra plushie auction goes on and she has a whole behind her. And yes, this hole was made for men to use, you know, on a Lyra plushie. Okay, let's break it down, okay guys? It so happened that a friend created a Lyra plushie handmade, and since it was the only one available, it costed around $200. She came with removable brown pants that, according to the description, was meant to hide the sewing behind the pony. Clever way to hide the fact that this pony was meant for intimate moments. And dude, the creepiest part is that it's the item's description. It explained how the person, or actually the man that bought it, should clean the plushie. Yeah, that's exactly what you're thinking. So gross. Like, it's literally a plushie of a pony. Many bronies saw that as just a joke, saying that Lyra was supposed to be a puppet, and that's why the hole, and many other things, like if it was a purse or whatever. And at the time, many websites shared this as something absurd, and that these kinds of things were ruining the kids' cartoon. But hey, was the only boy's pony sold or not? And believe it or not, it was. By twice as much as it was going for. Sold for Rainbow Slash. Great name, by the way. And not satisfied, Slash shared many pictures of her Lyra on DeviantArt, which made Hasbro send an email for him asking to take the inappropriate pictures down. So yes, the commotion reached the company behind the series. And to make this story even better, in BronyCon 2019, Lauren Faust, the creator of the series, signed the Lyra plushie. Yes, G4 Goddess signed this atrocity. And by the way, she held the toy. And yes, she surely knew what it was used for. Poor thingy. But from what I heard, the plushie was never used to do the deed, as Rainbow Slash only bought it for funsies. But I don't know if I believe this story. Well, either way, let's move on to the next one, since things go only down here from there. And by the way, leave a like in this video before you forget. Jin1515 is a user on DeviantArt that was recognized by marrying a Twilight Sparkle plushie. And as you must have seen, he put a ring on her horn. At the beginning, some fans thought Jin was only playing a character, you know? So much that his pictures were funny and cute, with them both in a cafeteria, in a museum, sleeping together, and so on. The problem began when their pictures started to become weird, like Twilight in a suggestive pose, using a baby baby's diaper, a detail that Jin loved to add to the character, and even on his own character. Just to remember that Jin was an adult man, and his character, who was also an adult, used diapers. Kinda sick. But the peak was when he posted a photo of, and before I said it, if you're eating, skip this part, a photo of Twilight with something on her snout that definitely isn't chocolate. At the beginning, I thought that Jin was just playing a game, causing fear in the internet strangers. But then, I seek all internet to find out that Jin, in fact, went that far. And he even detailed everything in the image description, saying how he did atrocities to his wife. So please, leave a like in the video so I can afford therapy to deal with these pictures. Can you do that for me? Anyway, this wasn't the only Twilight picture where she is nasty, but it was the only one that survived on the internet nowadays. But yes, he did that crap again. And even after he cleaned the plushie, there's still some spots on her, making it clear that the level of these pictures was very low. Obviously, some people commented that they were worried and sick, or even if Jin's mental health was okay, but he kept posting those damn pictures, and he even dived into BDSM, which made people even sicker. Nowadays, as far as I heard, Jin's still married to the plushie, but stopped posting things on his DeviantArt since 2017, and the sick photos were erased from his profile for the fans' sake, and also for Twilight's sake. Christian, a name that many people recognize well because of the insane things this dude has done involving Sonic. Just to get a better picture, this dude 100% believes that all of his Sonic fan arts existed in a parallel reality. He even created Sonichu, a fusion between Sonic and Pikachu. Chris never hid his autism and used it in his favor, as if he was some sort of deity. To summarize, Chris always involved himself into controversy with trolls that were mean to him. But it got worse when Chris joined the brony community just to draw the attention of a little girl, Megan. Fun fact, Chris was already an adult at the time, and in bronies conferences, the fans had an eye out for Chris since they know he had tendencies, and SAs are something that happened in these sort of places when he was around. But when he started to follow a girl from the My Little Pony community, threatening her and sending her indecent pictures, the fandom had enough and banned him from every platform and even related to My Little Pony, making Chris' reputation even worse, and he had none already. And as he posted everything on the internet, he recorded a video just of him flipping out, and because of this case popularity, many dirt on Chris's name was discovered, and the police were obligated to take action and arrest this nutjob. Too dark stuff to talk about here, and they don't concern the video. But let's say that he was arrested at the time, but apparently he's wandering around again because a few years back he tweeted some stuff about his date on the new My Little Pony Gen. Does this photo remind you of something? If so, I'm so sorry you know about that. For those who don't know the story yet, everything started at an old-fashioned Reddit, it has to be, when an user posted a picture of a Rainbow Dash figure inside a jar that had a dark liquid in it. At the first time I saw that, I thought it was honey or vinegar jar, but no. According to the user, that was part of a hideous experiment where every time he relieved himself, he did it inside the jar. But someday he left the jar on top of radiator on accident, which made the white liquid to cook and become this black goo that you're seeing right now. What can I say? Imagine this stretch of this shit. And what creeps me out more is the fact that he was able to fill a good portion of the jar with his seed. This case was known as the Rainbow Dash Jar incident, and it's remembered to this day, mainly for memes. Dude, there's even people selling earrings of a jar with rainbow inside it, and people cosplay as it. Can you imagine? That's why people are creeped out of My Little Pony's fandom. Exactly because of these bizarre things. And the most bizarre thing about it all is that most of these cases are grown-up adult men. But now, I want to hear from you guys. Did you know any of these cases? And which one is the creepiest in your opinion? And look, if you know any other nasty thing involving My Little Pony, tell me in the comments. Who knows, I don't come up with a part 2. Nah, not worth it. Thank you a lot for watching this video till here, and hasta la vista.